Legend Story Studios just released information about the gem packs, which will be replacing Armory support for Armory events that you go to local game stores in. And a very high level view of this, right? Just a very high level summary of what this really is doing is it's really a subtle degradation of the competitive spirit in the Armory events while also just fostering more of a casual environment, right? And I think the hopes of Legend Story Studios is it's going to appeal to a broader subset of the market of more people coming into game stores to play Flesh and Blood at the expense of a competitive spirit degradation. But the counterpoint to that degradation is that if you have that competitive spirit, if you want to compete in events, there's plenty of events out there for Flesh and Blood that you can compete in, right? You know, the Pro Tour circuit, the Nationals, Worlds, everything. There's a lot of other events if you're a competitive player to play in. And that these armories are going to be a more casual experience. There's still going to be competition and maybe number one, number two slot of the winners get something even better. It's up to the store's discretion. But that is really just how this is, right? If you look at it very high level, right? You're degrading the competitive spirit for these armory events that are in game stores, and you are fostering more of a casual play experience. Now, my opinions, right? Taking a step back and thinking, what are Bronson's opinions on this? Is I think I'm going to have a hot take here. I really don't care as long as the game stores become more profitable as a result of this. I think then it's going to be a win. Because I think when the game stores are more profitable hosting events, they will host more of those events. And they will tell other game stores that are, equidistant around them that, hey, this Flesh and Blood, I'm making some good money on these events that I'm hosting because they are profitable. And I believe that Legend Story Studios has built that into their matrix. But I just really want to harp home that I think above all else, Armory events, making them more profitable overall in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's this gem pack. I don't know if it's candy canes, whatever have you, man. Make them more profitable for the game stores. The more profitable you make them, the more they will host them. And I harp on this because I've heard so many stories in the past where their profitability isn't really there for holding more events. Like the more events you run, the players out there need more incentives to come in, and the game stores have to like shell out different booster packs and whatever have you, and put in more prize support themselves because the prize support given isn't to the amount that people would normally come in. So I just state this a little bit in the beginning because that's really my thoughts on this. Is it? I don't care really the competitive spirit, the casual play. Yeah, is it profitable for local game stores? If yes, great success. Is if it's more, if it's more profitable than the Armory support that they've previously gotten, then I think that it is a great win. I guess we'll see how things unfold and what other people think about that. But that's my genuine high level Bronson take of the situation. Now, let me go into the nitty gritty of really kind of other thought topics that I have for this. Right. So, the first is, why isn't this called an armory pack? Like, you go to an armory to get a gem pack. Like maybe something in my brain isn't working, but I would think that if you go to an armory event, you could get an armory pack. But anyway, digress. The next topic is more concerning. Pack weighing. It's gonna happen. You have packs. You have expensive or not so expensive cards in them. You're gonna have people weighing them. You're gonna have store. And when I say that, I meant stores weighing them. And I'm not saying the store owner because there's amazing store owners out there for Flesh and Blood into the TCG space. But store owners have employees, and employees are genuinely good people, but there's always one, two, three, they all add up. And when they do, when you don't know who, someone comes in a little bit early to work and opens the box of these gem packs and like gets out their scale and weighs them all and takes the one that is a marvel out, you're gonna have that situation. And I think that is a negative effect to this transition, because before, you knew what you were getting. You had, the cold foil spicy cards, like you had one or two or three of them, right? And then you had the normal rainbow foil participation cards, right? So it seemed a lot more legit, where you knew what you were getting, it was it. Here, it's randomized, and there's different things that could be in those packs. I think pack weighing is going to be an issue, and I don't know really how to solve that. That's just putting out there as, something that is now a concern. Another thing is bent cards. I've watched people open the judge packs, and unfortunately, they open them up and the cards are bent. And it hasn't happened too often. I will say that. I have seen it on a select occasions, not too often. But when you scale this up, when you scale it to all the LGSs out there, you're gonna have bent cards, because there's only 3 cards in each pack. That's not many cards to really support one another, right? It's like if there's sardines in a can, right? If you put 3 sardines together, they're gonna bend and break. If you put like 20 sardines, they're gonna hold each other together. They're gonna be bros, and they're all gonna bro hug, and they're not going to bend or break. That's why if you open a booster pack, you don't get that much bendage, because there's a lot of girth there. Whereas this is only 3 cards, so you're gonna have bending and breaking. Just gonna happen. Hopefully not, but you have more of a propensity to happen that way. Next is, I hope there's a support item, not these packs, for the number 1 and number 2 slot for people who are in an armory event, right? Like if you're in an armory, you're jamming out games the whole night, and you get like a really good run, and you get like a one of these gem packs at the end of the day, right? Let's say you are first place in army, and you get a gem pack, and you literally get something worse than the person in last place. It feels bad. It really is. It's like, hey, well, why did I even try? Why didn't I just, drink a couple vodka tonics before I got here, and just not even try? And that's the competitive spirit degradation. I hope with this, there's still a thing to aspire to be number 1 or number 2 at an armory event. I just want to say that, right? And really, just to end it off, just not making this video too long, I think the heart of it is money, right? People who go to events want money. They want to compete, and they want to get monetarily compensated in some way, shape, or form, and it's usually cards. And you're gonna have all these players out there lie to your face, and they're gonna say, no, I just want something special. I just want something special. They're bullshitting you. Monetary value for cardboard is what they want to compete for. Period. End of sentence. And I want to give you a good example of this. So back in the day, right? COVID era times. Back in 2020, there was a new event type that Legend Story Studios was promoting, which was Skirmish Season. And I believe it was Skirmish Season 1. And in Skirmish Season 1, you couldn't go to the game stores because, the virus and everything, right? So they had it online. You had game stores hosting online tournaments for Flesh and Blood. 150 people, I kid you not, for like a skirmish event, which was bonkers. And literally anyone could sign up, and it was $10. And the reason why you had that many people is because of the similar facet of the gem pack. So it was a system where your name was put into a hat, and there was a random drawing from each event, and you could have the chance to win a cold foil adult hero of Arcane Rising. And each of those heroes was like $500, $600, $700 each at the time. So people were like, well, I'm at home, might as well just log on, play a couple games, and then like drop the tournament, and then have a chance to win this really good prize. So I think that level of participation reward is very intriguing to me, right? If you have an event out there where you can participate and have the chance to win something big, you will get a lot more people involved in wanting to sign up, right? Because if you're like, well, I'm probably not going to why even join, right? A lot of people feel that way. But if you think, hey, I have the same chance as a lot of other people there, you go, have some fun, play some games, try a new deck I'm trying, right? More casual. And win or lose, who cares? I'm getting a pack. And then you get the pack, you open it, and you have a chance at getting some valuable. That's that's pretty cool. I mean, that entices a lot more individuals to the game stores. But remember what I said. People care about money. And that's all that this is, right? And I think that if you really encompass that, you got to look at these gem packs and think like, is there going to be really money that motivates those people? And that's what I really want to harp on. It's not the fact that everyone gets a participation prize. Like back in 2020, if everyone got, like, let's say a participation prize of like a pack of cards for Flesh and Blood, and let's say in that, like, let's say the gem pack was released back in the day, and the biggest dollar card you could get was $40 each. Do you think many people would really want to sign up? No. It's because the highest dollar event, $40, the event's $10. It's not worth my time. It's the high value card, the chance at hitting it big, man. Because that's what people really encompass. And I think I've harped on that enough. But it's something that is a little bit untalked about as much in the TCG space. And you have people call themselves players, and of course they play the game. I play the game, but you've got people who go out to their armories and everything, and you've got people who go out to game stores a lot more than I do. And I feel like if you really harp in on or hone in on really what drives them, what makes them tick, what makes them get out of bed and get their ass down to the local game store, it's money. And I hope that LSS has factored that in with these gem packs and really seen, okay, even though everyone gets a participation trophy, which will entice people, you also have to have that second aspect of money. You have to have some like really, really high value cards. Like even you could have something that's a really hard chance to get, right? Like a 1 out of 2,000, right? That's a $800 card. That will entice people to get in. That's what I'm driving home. And that's what I think the biggest success driver of this will be. If the biggest high dollar value item in these packs is a $50 Marvel, I don't think it will succeed as much as it could have. If the highest dollar value item in these is, let's say, $500, it will be very successful. Even if it's a very, very hard thing to hit, people will at least have that money-eyed glow of, hey, I could pull it, or seeing people pull it. When people say, oh, wow, I pulled a $500 card. Yeah, let's go, right? That will get people jazzed. That will make people more enticed to go. So I'll end it off there. But that's just my thoughts on the overall gem packs. I'd like to hear what other people think. And see if I'm far off the mark or not. So, cheers, man. Have a good one.